49ers Kyle Shanahan is an absolute savage. If you haven't heard it already, Kyle let local media know that he started preparing for the Packers midway through the second quarter versus the Cowboys. Whoo, you know it's bad when Kyle starts cooking up a game plan for the Packers and the game isn't even over yet. Take a listen to what Kyle Shanahan had to say and kind of his thoughts on the divisional round coming right up. Take a look right here.
After Sunday, after learning at 4:30 p.m., how quickly did you guys get to work on the Packers?
We were already in here, so we were doing it that day. We had mixed in a little bit earlier in the week, hitting up a couple teams, but started really focusing on them halfway through the second quarter. Then they scored at the end of the second quarter, so I kind of did both at halftime, and then third quarter I was set on one team.
Development Jordan Love has made throughout the season to where he is now? He's come a long way because he's playing at such a high level. To get thrown in there early in this year and have to go through some ups and downs, which he did some good things earlier in this year too, but to not win all those games, kind of when you're with a tough record in your first year, the pressure that comes with that, and just to watch him each game, he's been consistent. For him to take care of the ball the way he's done has been unbelievable. I mean, the 21 touchdowns and 1 pick, I think over the last 10 games is unbelievable. He's extremely consistent in what they're asking him to do. Matt is very good at coaching the quarterback, and you can see that their quarterback is buying in and plays very well in their system and makes a lot of plays, has a big arm, and is a big dude too.
So 2-5 this season. What's been the key to their turnaround?
Probably not turning it over. And when you don't turn it over, no matter what happens, you got a chance to win in every game. The fact they've only had 1 pick in 10 games is unbelievable. And when you start getting a running game going with that, with a real good defense too, doesn't surprise me at all.
How much of a benefit was it for you to be able to get a head start on Sunday on your opponent?
I don't know. I'll tell you after our game Saturday. Sometimes it can be a benefit, sometimes it's not. I mean, it depends on how the game unwinds, but sometimes having a short rest can help. Sometimes it hurts. So you see how it plays out, but I don't really overthink that stuff much.
I know the focus is always on the funny yet, but so much attention this season was on Eagles, Cowboys, you guys, maybe shaping it up for a showdown. And some amount of surprise for both those teams to be gone before you even start playing?
I would say so before we got in the playoffs, just because we hadn't really studied Green Bay and watched them. Once we had those 10 days to kind of view a lot of people, then you realize that they had a good shot. I mean, didn't know who was going to win, but so it didn't surprise me what happened. Dallas is a good team, so just the way it started out was a little surprising. But once you watch the tape and you really get into Green Bay and you really think of their numbers and you really watch their players and how they're doing it, it doesn't surprise me at all now.
What's the hallmark of a Matt LaFleur offense and a Matt LaFleur team?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think they change each year, and it's definitely different with Aaron not there. I think it looks a little bit more similar to how I know Matt and his offense, and that was always mixed in with Aaron too. Anytime you have a quarterback who's played a long time, you're always going to just mix all that stuff in, but it looks a little more consistent with what he's done earlier in his career and just how they're balancing it out. And Matt's going to get his guys to play hard. He's always going to be honest with them, and Matt's a very high character guy who understands scheme very well.
How serious is Greenlaw's Achilles issue? He said tendonitis last week, and is it something where he might be able to practice tomorrow?
Yeah, he'll be able to go tomorrow. We just pushed him hard yesterday, just so we want to take a day off before we push him again.
How about Logan Ryan?
He should be good by tomorrow. He's got to pass a couple more things.
Is there a hope that George Odom can be activated for the first game?
Yeah, there is a hope. He's given himself a chance, just being able to watch him a little bit last week, and we'll see how these two go, and he could have a chance this week.
It's been a while since you coached with Matt, but how much when you watch them do you see, oh yeah, I know that, I get that, or how much has it changed?
Similar. I mean, it's like that with a bunch of people. I mean, scheme changes just like ours does all the time. Things evolve, and especially with your players, but it's fun watching them with a young quarterback. I mean, Matt and I coached quarterbacks together for a while, just technique and certain things, and you can definitely see how he's been coaching his guy, and he's done a hell of a job with them, and it seems like the quarterback's made it pretty easy for him too.
On Tim's question from before, is that the thing with the playoffs that you almost have to take out all your preconceived notions from the regular season and it's a new season in some ways?
Yeah, I mean, you prepare off the film that you have, but I mean, I just keep telling our guys, no matter what. I mean, we clinched the 1 seed, it feels like 100 days ago, and you got all this time, and everyone wants to talk about all this stuff that leads up to it, and there's a lot of stuff to think about, but it comes down to what you do in 3.5 hours. And
If you got a little amount of time to prepare for that, a lot amount of time, if it's a team you've played 3 times, a team you haven't played in 2 years, there's lots of things to think about and talk about. All we try to do is study the film and prepare for how those 3.5 hours will go. But once it starts, you just cut it loose and you ride. And I think that's the hard thing about the weeks and stuff is you just tell guys don't have preconceived notions. Don't think it's going to be these teams because these are the ones you've heard about. Just we'll watch the film, we'll put in the scheme and stuff, and you guys take care of your bodies and get ready to come in and learn it.
I absolutely love that Kyle's just, there's no BSing with him. It is what it is. Like, I know he didn't mean it as a slight or anything like that. Some people might think that's what it is, but he's just being honest. He's like, you know what? We were in the building. We were getting a head start. He talked about it all week, how it was probably going to be a short week. We know the 49ers play on Saturday. And so he knew it had to be a quick turn. They had to get prepared, get the information in and out so they can get it to the players and all those different types of things. So they're in the building. They're actively watching these games go down and game plan simultaneously. And they made the decision. We know it's going to be the Packers. So I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. I love Kyle, man. He's just, again, I don't think it was a slight. I think it's just him being truthful. It's the truth. We started preparing for the Packers midway through the second quarter because the Cowboys were getting blown out. So the 49ers obviously get a little bit of a head start on the Packers. Obviously, the Packers have to get through that Cowboys game. They got to travel back home. So, the 49ers might have a little bit of an advantage in the preparation realm, just maybe a day or so. But I would imagine the Packers, they're on the flight home. They're preparing as well. And who knows, maybe they already started their preparation for the San Francisco 49ers because they knew if they win, that's who they were playing. So we don't know what the preparation looks like for the Packers standpoint. Maybe we'll hear from LaFleur later today. But Kyle Shanahan, savage. Love it. Can't wait. This is going to be a big one. Let me know what you guys think about Kyle Shanahan's comments in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.